Come on. Hey, don't forget your racist tape. All right? I love you.
Phil,
Huh?
who are you talking to?
Oh, gotta go. Bye.
Monica Lewinsky, I'm so in love with you. It's not your fault that you bit off more than you could chew. I'm looking at your photograph and I can feel your pain. I bought a blue dress just like yours that I'm about to stain. This isn't a subpoena that I'm waving in my hand. I want to date with Monica Lewinsky. I want to see what the president sees. I want to date with Monica Lewinsky. She doesn't have to get on her knees. I want to date with Monica Lewinsky. I want to see what the president sees. I want to date with Monica Lewinsky. She doesn't have to get on her knees.
Labitos, and I want to date with Monica Lewinsky.
That's catchy. Can't get that out of my head.
Yep.
I love you. I love you, Monica.
Pick up.
Good morning. This is the Bob and Tom Show. Thanks for joining us.
Speaking of Monica Lewinsky,
Yeah.
I have a news story here concerning the dress.
Really?
Oh, I saw this. It's not a blue cocktail dress.
It's not.
Well, they're trying the dresses. Somebody wants to buy it for their museum.
I saw a guy already offer $100,000 for the dress.
$100,000
He
for the
has,
dress. That's exactly
I believe
right.
he's, I think he's in New York, hair salon, but in his hair salon, it's nothing but memorabilia.
Yeah, he has locks of hair from Lincoln and Kennedy.
Lincoln.
That's what he says. $125,000 for a lock of Lincoln's hair.
I mean, can you imagine?
How do you prove that?
Someday we'll have the Museum of Presidential Spooge.
Here's the Lincoln load.
Comes with a black light.
I think everyone knows that obviously Kennedy's going to have the biggest one.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's just...
There's more of that out there, so it's not
because
as...
they say if you shine a black light on apparently if you shine a black light on it, you can actually see it. So can you imagine if they'd gone into the Oval Office with a black light back in,
Oh, my.
early 60s?
Oh, man.
It'd be unbelievable.
Or if they took the black light to Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You could probably still take it to her grave and there's still something glowing.
Yeah, probably all around the base of the...
Yeah. They probably didn't even have to embalm her.
She's already full.
Sure, yes. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, cause of death, drowning.
That leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
Florida hairstylist Jesse Briggs
Oh, Florida, I'm sorry.
wants the stained blue dress. He hopes someday it'll be displayed in a museum alongside a lock of John Lennon's hair, Elvis Presley's teeth. Briggs is offering to pay up to $100,000 for the dress so that he may add it to his bizarre collection of celebrity memorabilia, which includes locks of hair from 4 U.S. presidents: John Kennedy, Andrew Jackson, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and...
Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson. They have Andrew Jackson's hair.
We got to go see that.
Where did you find that?
Now, remember we were talking about this one day. A lot of people cut off locks of hair throughout history, and they put it in books, and not just famous people.
See, now, remember, it doesn't, the Thomas Edison Museum, don't they have Henry Ford's last breath?
Yes.
I told you guys that.
His
You didn't
what?
believe me.
His last breath.
His last breath.
What did he say?
No. Just his last...
When he
Edison and Ford evidently were
Real
very
time.
close, and he was there when it happened. He goes, here, breathe into this tube.
It would have been his second to last breath, but when they put that thing over his face,
it kind of cut him off. Cut off the air. Hell, there could have been more cars in the making, but no.
Sure. Some people climb mountains, some people go on hot air balloons around the world, and I'm one of those crazy people who collect unusual items, says the 56-year-old Briggs, who began his collection 30 years ago when he spent $1,700 at an auction for a lock of John Lennon's hair. He buys many of his treasures at auction. Briggs sometimes trades items with other like-minded collectors. He obtained a lock of JFK hair in exchange for cash, plus some locks of Marilyn Monroe's hair. Elvis Presley's tooth, which is actually a cap that popped off while the king was still alive, was purchased after his death at an auction held by Lyndon Thompson, the king's girlfriend.
Really? Did they sell the tinfoil from the windows also?
Briggs says a strand of...
I've always wondered, because Elvis died on the toilet,
Mm-hmm.
and isn't that anniversary coming up right now?
Well, this is Elvis Week, is it not?
Yeah.
No, because when they found him, somebody had to look down there and go, well, because with like the whole Hard Rock Cafe thing now, all that memorabilia, someone had to think before they're going.
If Christy were here, she'd be saying, Tom.
No, let me do that.
Okay.
Somebody's got to have it.
You're
though.
saying that someone has...
I'm wondering.
It's probably in a lab somewhere because they had to go through
for
it.
evidence. You think they had to get that?
I think so.
Muldoon, get me the Tupperware.
Wasn't there 15 pounds of impacted...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They probably do have samples of that somewhere.
Man.
So maybe there wasn't anything there.
That Lewinsky dress will be worth a fortune.
Yeah,
And she can profit from it, right? Because it's
her dress.
She didn't, and she didn't commit a crime. And even if she did, it's all.
She gets the dress.
It's immunity,
back.
100%.
What's it called?
Transactional immunity.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Whatever the hell that means.
Yeah, I think it's like transcendental meditation. I don't know.
It reminds me of categorically denying something.
Yeah.
Categorically transactional immunity.
Categorically, it's like Jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
I
deny the last three categories, please.
Felonies for 200, Alec. We're going to get to some more news, but first I have to read this. This is a memo. Love it when we get memos from this release to the staff of a business called Premier Signs. It says, to all valued employees, subject, company policies. This memo is a reminder of some existing company policies. Mm-hmm. It's got a number of things on it, but the opening one is, first, we are asking that all employees refrain from using profanity and or sexual innuendos toward any person or item when at Premier Signs or on a job site. Moreover, be sure that the radio stations you listen to are appropriate for the workplace.
Oh, that's...
Now then it gets quite clear here. This means no Bob and Tom.
Uh-oh.
This is to show respect and professionalism toward our customers, vendors, and friends.
What about our little company?
Well,
Second,
there's no smoking in the building.
really?
So we're before the...
So we're taking all the fun out of work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, we don't even cause cancer.
Well,
hasn't been proven yet.
Yeah, we've known to have been a cancer on a few different things.
Well, in any event, I'm sorry. And I only read this because I know they can't listen anyway, so...
The hell with them.
Yeah,
The hell with the managers, evidently.
I hope they're enjoying Slow Ride at 6 in the morning, wherever they might be.
Slow ride! And the third thing we'd like to bring up is, for some reason, morale seems at an all-time low. I don't know why, but there seems to be a problem.
So anyway, sorry about that.
Thanks, but see you.
See, at least we know they're not listening.
No, they're not.
So if the guy who wrote this is listening, hey, he's in trouble.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
It's against the rules to listen to this program. I'm sorry to hear that. But thank you anyway. I'm sure it's a very fine company. I wouldn't want them to share the show either. I want them working.
I was using their signs, but...
Okay, we're going to get to some news here. This portion of our show is sponsored by our friends at Pinkley Motors.
Hi, I am Ed Pinkley, owner of Pinkley Motors, home of the Pinkley Jeep, the Pinkley Volvo, and our most popular model, the Pinkley Taurus. Let's hear what some of our satisfied women customers have to say about their Pinkley Tauruses.
I just love my shiny Pinkley Taurus.
Hey, who wouldn't?
I need to get away from it all. I lean back and get lost in my Pinkley Taurus.
Many women say that. To tell you about the easy maintenance of a Pinkley Taurus, here's crack mechanic Michael Hunt.
Because your Pinkley Taurus is so sensitive, we recommend you have it looked at and serviced at least once every 3 months. If not lubed up regularly, your parts are going to get gummed up, they won't work, and hey, that stinks.
Thank you, Mike.
The guys at Pinkley Ford are always eager to not only service my Pinkley Taurus, but it's the fact that they take the time to buff it and polish it to a spit shine that keeps me coming back. Thanks, Ed.
That's what I am here for.
It was our anniversary, and my husband wanted to give me an unforgettable surprise.
I searched and searched, and admittedly, I had a little trouble finding it.
Imagine my excitement when he finally came across my Pinkley Taurus. Thanks, Ed.
Don't thank me. Thank my staff. For looks and feel, you can't lick a Pinkley Taurus.
I don't drive my Pinkley Taurus. It drives me wild.
A Pinkley Taurus is hard to find, but it is worth the effort. Let me, Ed Pinkley, help you find your Pinkley Taurus today at Pinkley Motors off of Route 69.
That's, of course, Ed Pinkley. Thank you very much, Ed, from Pinkley Motors, sponsoring the news this morning on the Bob and Tom Show. And we now go to the news desk with Chick McGee. Chickster.
Thank you, Tom. Good morning, Bob. Hello, Gunner.
Hi, Chickster.
And now the news. That judge in the Arkansas school shooting case says the punishment does not fit the crime. Judge Ralph Wilson Jr. says what the law allows him to do is not enough. Yesterday, Wilson ordered 14-year-old Mitchell Johnson, 12-year-old Andrew Golden into the custody of the Arkansas juvenile justice system. Wilson says Arkansas law provides no penalty severe enough for the boys who gunned down 5 people at their school in Jonesboro. Wilson tacked on 90 days in jail should the state's youth justice system release the boys before age 21. When they are released, the boys potentially could get their guns back. Felons are prohibited from possessing weapons in Arkansas, but the boys are considered only delinquent, much like an overdue bill, and will not lose those privileges.
As opposed to, say, a murderer.
Man.
Exactly. Maybe that law could use a little amending, I would say.
Might want to take a squint at that. No more hitching prisoners to posts in Alabama. Federal judges ruled the state's practice of punishing prisoners by shackling them to a post is unconstitutional and cruel. He's not banning them. Instead, he wants to see if there's a legal way to use the posts, and basketball and weightlifting are still okay.
Really?
In prison.
Can you,
by the way,
shackle them to a post at a basketball game?
I don't know. That's cherry picking, isn't it? Down there waiting for the ball?
I think so.
I think it is. They're always in and around the White House. Whitewater prosecutors want to know where Secret Service workers are stationed and what they see when President Clinton is around. Sources say those are the kind of questions the workers have been asked during grand jury testimony. It's all a part of course, the Monica Lewinsky investigation. And President Clinton's getting more help from Hollywood. His friend and TV producer Harry Thomason is staying in Washington to help Clinton get ready for his testimony Monday in the Monica Lewinsky case. Thomason appeared yesterday before grand jurors. He says he testified that Clinton told him nothing about his relationship with Monica. Thomason came to Washington in January when news of the story first broke, ended up staying at the White House for weeks. Sources say he was warned by lawyers not to learn too much about the Clinton-Lewinsky relationship because he might have to testify about it. Sources familiar with Thomason's testimony say he told the grand jury that he suggested that the president should give a more forceful statement about the Lewinsky matter, but that he didn't tell the president what to say.
He's just doing a little investigating for his new series, The Lincoln Bedroom. Just think of all the different guests you could have each week.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be like the Love Boat.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be Ronnie Shell and Valerie Perrine.
Ronnie Shell.
You guys laugh at Ronnie Shell.
I'm sorry.
But he's going to be dead, and you're going to go, I missed him. Okay.
Ronnie
He was
Shell.
such a talent.
Ronnie Shell, of course, featured on Gomer Pyle USMC.
As Duke, right?
Yeah, the number one song in the United, number one television show in the late 60s in America. Interestingly enough, Gomer Pyle, the only Marine never to get anywhere near Vietnam. You know, when Gomer was the Marines, it was all fun and games.
You bet it was.
Hey, Sergeant Carter, you hear about that Tet Offensive? No, what's that, Gomer?
Go down and get Miss Luann Poovey a strudel.
Cambodia, what's that?
Frank Sinatra Jr. has won a restraining order that bars 3 men who kidnapped him 35 years ago from profiting from a movie about the crime. Sinatra's lawyer says the order issued last week temporarily prevents Columbia Pictures from paying Barry Keenan, Joseph Amler, and John Irwin. The men were convicted of kidnapping the singer's son in 1963 from a Lake Tahoe, Nevada casino. Attorney James Walsworth says Sinatra is not trying to stop production of the movie, but he wants the money put in a beneficiary trust, not in the pockets of the men who kidnapped
You notice
him.
these guys did it after Frank died, because had they done it before, Frank would have had them, I guess, removed.
I'm surprised they're still walking around.
I am too.
One would think, maybe, once
Frank would have taken care of them.
Once they get out of jail, one day they're out there cutting the grass, and all of a sudden a big black car drives by.
Federal appeals court says the FCC must reconsider an allegation that CBS's 60 Minutes intentionally distorted a segment on the Ukraine. The court has concluded that the FCC failed to sufficiently explain why it didn't hold a hearing on the matter. An FCC attorney says the commission will re-examine the entire record, including the charges made against 60 Minutes. An American of Ukrainian descent asked the commission to turn down a license request by CBS for a Detroit TV station He says there was a deliberate attempt in the 60-minute segment to give the impression that all Ukrainians harbor a negative attitude towards Jews.
Really?
Someone's got a lot of time on their hands. Fred Goldman says it's time for a change. The father of Ron Goldman is moving from California to Scottsdale, Arizona. Goldman says the move doesn't mean he'll stop his complaints about the justice system. He says the system failed when a jury acquitted O.J. of killing his son Ron and Nicole Brown in 1994. Fred Goldman says he'll keep chasing Simpson for the $33.5 million civil judgment reached against O.J. He says the family hasn't seen a penny of the money because Simpson has all his assets listed in friends' names.
If it's time for a change, is he going to get rid of that ridiculous mustache?
That's the only problem I have with him, because that takes a lot of primping and detail work.
Every morning he's got to get out the mousse, do the mustache, and go, perfect.
Yeah, man, I love
Now I look like I belong in a circus.
He's like the Raleigh Fingers of murdered sons.
Well, he was part of the biggest circus in media history, so...
There is only one look that I think is worse than that, and that's the pencil-thin mustache.
Oh, yeah.
Frank DeFord has one.
the one shaved right at the lower part of the lip?
Yeah.
Right.
See, now, if you're going to grow I grew a mustache so I didn't have to shave up here.
Right.
See, that's a little
to me,
too much.
that makes a statement, and the statement it makes is you like yourself way too much. Hey, look at that. I look just like a grease ball.
That's just too much work.
Communication Workers of America officials say they reached a tentative agreement with Bell Atlantic today to end the strike by 73,000 telephone workers. The union released a statement asking its members to return to work at their next scheduled shifts.
You hear about how the bidding on that goes? Hello, my name is Jan. Your bid, please.
Please make a note of it.
I'm sorry. The number is...
They tried to call those people to get them back to work, but the phones weren't.
The number you gave us has been changed.
Yeah. The new number is $55,000.
Coming up, Bryant Gumbel, nudity, Farrah Fawcett.
Nude Farrah Fawcett?
Yes.
Moose entrails.
We got it all.
Oh, yeah. And,
Sinking casinos?
Sinking casinos and some ladies rowing across the Atlantic. We got it all.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much, Chick. I can't wait. We'll be right back.
By sharks.
We'll be right back. This is the Bob and Tom Show.
You're listening to Bob and Tom on 97.5 WONE. And now back to Bob and Tom on 97.5 WONE.
Good morning. Testing. This is the Bob and Tom Show. Good morning.
Yeah, you betcha.
All right. On the keyboards this morning, Steve Ali, our music director. Special edition of this show, coming to you live from northern Michigan this morning in Harbor Springs at the Boyne Highlands Golf and Ski Resort. And Steve, I know yesterday went to Mackinac Island. Did you take my advice and not wear sandals? Yes. Okay, good. That's not fudge. That's not fudge between your toes.
How true.
I'm going there because my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, was made there. The Fabulous.
Somewhere in Time.
Somewhere in Time.
Really?
Starring Christopher Reeve in a realistic story about a man who falls asleep in a hotel room and travels back in time.
Mm-hmm. By the way, they've had to modify. That was filmed at the Grand Hotel. They've since put in a ramp.
Oh, no. I knew it was coming.
Yeah, that scene where he runs out back. The scene where Christopher Reeve runs out back to find the old registration books has been cut.
Yeah, it's a runaway wheel.
Thank you very much.
He puts a little card in his spoke.
Thanks. Are you going there today? Chick.
It's there tomorrow. I think maybe today. I don't know.
Okay, we're good. We're good. We're having fun. We're on vacation. This is a special edition of the Bob and Tom Vacation Show. Hope you're on vacation too.
Yeah.
And if so, why are you up so early?
Yeah.
Go back to sleep. Enjoy yourself. We're going to wade back into news headlines. Do we have the story about the sinking casino?
We do have that.
I want to hear that.
Circus Enterprises Incorporated's $950 million Mandalay Bay Casino Resort project, considered vital to the company's future, has been sinking into the ground because it's being built on unstable soil.
Whoops.
Hello, engineering.
Whoops.
Whoops.
The fourth largest U.S. casino company has said it believes it's stopped the sinking.
Really?
We've stopped it. We stopped it.
Okay, let's continue.
Pit boss, you're going to be a little lower.
Yes.
The casino is sinking at 16 inches, and the damage done so far probably won't delay Mandalay Bay, the planned March opening, or add substantially to its costs.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They are building a longer ramp.
Yes, however, the first floor...
that one step.
I think the key to gambling is to have a level playing surface. You know, that roulette wheel, it always comes up. When it's leaning down onto the side, there's 16 inches.
Yeah, you don't throw the dice, you just drop them and they fall.
They just roll right to the end.
This is why I've got the job I do, and I am not in like business, or because I would be at a board meeting and they would say something about much like this next sentence I'm about to read, and I would bust out laughing.
Okay,
are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Circus said in a Security and Exchange Commission filing that it can't guarantee the construction problem won't become significant.
Really?
So that's like saying, well, the boat still will sink.
Oh, it's going to sink.
Mm-hmm.
but we're getting out now, so it won't become significant.
Okay. So if you're sitting at like a blackjack table, sit at one end because all of the chips are going to come rolling your way.
And
no, these are mine.
When the dice start leaning up against the wall of the dice table, you know there's a problem.
Yep. That's when he slides them up to you and they slide right back.
Slide right back.
That's bad.
An American athlete trying to become the first woman, and we're all guys here this week, right?
Yeah.
Christy's
right.
on vacation.
Christy's not here.
First woman to row solo across the Atlantic Ocean reached the halfway point on Tuesday. She would have reached it Monday night had she not been putting on her makeup
really?
during the rowing.
So she's halfway there?
Her 4-month odyssey. Tori Murden, T-O-R-I, Tori.
Yes, my daughter's name.
A social worker from Louisville, Kentucky, has rowed 1,814 miles since departing from Oregon Inlet off North Carolina's east coast on June 14th in a customized 23-foot fiberglass rowboat. That leaves the 35-year-old extreme athlete who is attempting her second ocean crossing about 1,808 miles from, and I'm not making the name of the story up for the female athlete, Brest, France.
Brest.
She expects to make landfall sometime in October.
Really?
Wow.
Very pleasant there in
We're going to
October.
vacation in Brest, France.
So it's a big rowboat. How long are the oars?
Well, the boat's 23 feet, so I don't know.
Damn.
What's the rule on oars?
They can't be any longer than the boat, I think.
That's exactly right.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The Oar Association of America, or
sure.
OOA, says...
OOA. Good morning, Bob and Tom Show.
Bonjour, Pepe le Scrotum, Colleen.
Hello, Pepe.
Good morning, Pepe.
Bonjour, comment allez-vous with you?
We are wonderful.
Good to hear.
Pepe, we're just talking about Brest, France. There's a lady rowing solo across the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, oui. I was part of the PR program for this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's from Louisville, Kentucky. The reason it's taking her so long, she had to portage the whole canoe all the way to Maine.
All the way.
That was a bitch.
Yeah, well.
Sure.
It's a long trip. Hey, I heard you laughing about Brest, France.
Yeah.
You're making fun of the city name, eh?
Well, it's kind of we always laugh when we hear the word Brest.
No, I know. This is part of the promotion.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, it's a woman doing this, so we thought it'd be a nice tie-in.
Really? Well, what?
Several other French cities were rejected, you know.
Really? Which was the first one on the list that was rejected?
The first one rejected was Jogues.
Jugs?
Jogues is a small village in France.
Uh-huh. It's a twin city, is it not?
The other one, of course, was Hooterville.
Oh, I didn't know there's a Hooterville in France.
Oh, it's just outside of Paris.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yes, and let's see. This one was rejected. This we thought might not be good in the headlines.
Well, which one was that?
Big old nice pair of them.
France. Big old nice pair of them, France.
That's pronounced big old niece pair of them.
Isn't it?
Well, I was Americanizing it.
Thank you.
I'm surprised she's not going for Hare Harbor.
That may be where she lands.
I believe that's in Spain.
Oh. That's actually German.
Hare Harbor.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
That actually means Mr. Harbor in German.
We have to have a new character, Hare Harbor.
Hare Harbor.
I like that. He runs a brothel in Germany. Somewhere on the Rhine.
Perhaps he may call in next hour.
Okay.
I'd like to have him call in. Could we write that down?
All right. Now, were there certain cities that you had planned in case a man had made the crossing?
Well, of course, we thought about doing it in Russia, St. Petersburg.
Yes, of course.
That was made for it. But the big one we rejected for the woman, which we thought might be quite offensive, was right out. We said, no way.
What was that?
Vage, France.
They have the film festival, don't they?
Yeah, it's a lesser-known film festival.
Okay.
Got first place at Vag.
You'd be surprised at some of the films that win.
I can imagine.
Not one of them up for an Oscar.
Oh, bad. Well, that's fine. Well, thank you, Pepe.
You fellows have a nice day.
It's always a pleasure.
Pepe Lescotum.
Au revoir, Pepe. Pepe Lescotum. Thanks very much, Pepe.
Other news, some Florida cable viewers thought they tuned in for news of the world from CNN Headline News. Instead, they got Women of the World from the Playboy Channel.
Oh, yeah, baby. Bravo.
I love these stories. A technical failure Monday night apparently caused a mix-up for Comcast cable customers in parts of Broward County. The signals were crossed for about 45 minutes. Hundreds of viewers called in to complain that wasn't long enough. Comcast serves about 90,000 homes in parts of Florida, including Fort Lauderdale.
So they were trying to get CNN.
Yeah.
And instead, you got the Playboy Channel.
Right.
Yeah, very nice.
That's
Putting the C back in CNN.
CNN.
All we need is you.
Bryant Gumbel's CBS television news
Noontime.
Bryant Gumbel's CBS News television program Public Eye has been canceled because it wasn't very good. Jon Stewart replaces Craig Kilborn on Comedy Central's Daily Show, and Kilborn, of course, moves to Tom Snyder's Late Late Show. Farrah Fawcett cried as she told jurors about a knockdown, drag-out fight with her boyfriend last January. James Orr slammed her head into the driveway. Orr is on trial for misdemeanor battery. He's pleaded innocent. On the stand yesterday, Fawcett said she didn't remember much about the fight except for trying to get up. She went on to say, he ended up hitting my head on the asphalt. All this came after Fawcett used a baseball bat to knock out a few windows at Orr's house. You might remember Fawcett and Orr issued a joint statement after the fight showing them as two good friends who just had a small misunderstanding.
Now, didn't this occur? Didn't he just ask her to marry him?
Yeah, and apparently she said no. And
wasn't that the story?
Yeah.
I thought he was in the house with another woman and she was upset, is how I thought how the story
But didn't it say that?
Said the fight started when he asked her to marry him. Right?
No.
And she said no.
So.
Well, that's what the story was last hour.
Is that what the story said last hour?
Did you rewrite
I
it?
think this is the original version that may have been there.
Farrah Fawcett says her ex-boyfriend slammed her head on the pavement outside his California. Fawcett cried. She turned down Orr's marriage proposal.
So here I'm picturing they're in a nice, elegant restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, it's very nice.
You look very lovely tonight, Farrah.
How did you like that shrimp, Farrah?
Oh, I loved it.
It's pretty good, wasn't it? Yes. Have a little more of this red sauce. It's hot.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of hot, I think with our relationship going the way it is, got a little something for you.
What's that?
Pulls out the little box with the velvet inside.
Engagement ring.
And she hands it to her, and he says, Farrah, will you marry me?
I can't.
She says no, and he says, oh.
Perhaps this will loosen your tongue.
Man, I'm sure this will change your mind. Yeah, my
This is how much I love you.
Man.
Lots and lots of people get called for jury duty.
Yes.
This reporter included.
You just got...
And they try to get out of it. Well, not many take it to the extreme that Michael Egley did of Daytona Beach, Florida.
Oh, he didn't ask for the whites-only men's room, did he?
Close.
Uh-oh.
When his jury summons came, the Florida man wrote back saying he hates blacks, police, and judges.
Uh-huh.
When a judge ordered him to appear anyway, he sent a second offensive note that decorum prohibits me from mentioning here.
Really?
That's always a good idea.
You betcha.
Hey, Your Honor, I hate you and your kind.
Uh-huh.
On Monday in court, at last, Engley said a friend had told him that an outrageous, bigoted remark would get him out of a jury pool.
Uh-huh.
Probably heard it on our show.
Could have.
Not the outrageous bigoted remark, but that theory.
Yeah.
We've been talking about that for a long time.
Now he has to apologize, and he got slapped with 50 hours of community service.
This just shows why voting isn't worth it.
That's true.
Exactly right.
Register to vote, and they bow to
I
your home.
get you.
State House members in Raleigh, North Carolina may have to find another way to survive lengthy floor debates. The snacks that they hide away in their desks are attracting mice.
Oh, yeah.
Republican Gene McComb says he had put a small pack of peanuts in his desk for a future snack, but when he went to get them 3 days later, there was nothing left.
Except for a little bit of mice poop.
Representative Frank Mitchell said they've been cutting peanut butter in mouse traps as bait.
Oh.
Other House members have reported mouse droppings in their desks. The building supervisor says the legislature has hired an exterminator to put out rat poison, but none of the legislators have been bitten by a rat. Of course, that would be just common courtesy. Professional courtesy. Professional courtesy.
You bet.
Not bringing. Ready?
Yes.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
A Canadian
We have to take a
family.
break.
After our break.
After a break, we'll do your Canadian family.
Does this involve nudity? Moose entrails.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I'll definitely wait for that.
We had entrails in the news yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The artist who was...
disemboweled some pigs.
Disemboweling pigs. Oh, yeah. His defense was they were that way when he found them?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
Well, I know just yesterday, while walking down this, there was a turkey.
Okay.
We're going to take a short break when we come back. This is the Bob and Tom Show.
Bob and Tom on 97.5 WONE.
Oh, honey, look, a little chihuahua digging in the sand. Hey, little fella, what you looking for? A bone?
Yo quiero Kawasaki.
Did that dog just talk to you?
Yeah, I think so. Hey, Pooch, what was that? You want a Kawasaki? Si, senor. The grand prize for this year's beach stick. It's here somewhere.
It's back. The annual 97.5 WONE 7-Up Sunkissed Beach Dig. Friday night, August 28th at the Upper Deck in the Portage Lakes. You could be one of 97 people digging in the sand looking for fantastic prizes. 19 in Massillon, the Upper Deck, wherever 7-Up and Sunkissed is sold. Or you can mail your entry to WONE Beach Dig, 1735 South Hawkins, Akron 44320. Fax it to 869-9750. Or on our website at WONE.net. Entry deadline is midnight, August 26th. 18 and over, please. Everyone's a winner in the 97.5 WONE 7-Up Sunkissed Beach Dig. Part of the 97 Days of Summer from the home of rock and roll. 97.5 WONE.
Move over, you little mutt, and let me have a chance.
That's okay, but they've already marked my spot.
Ooh!
At an all-too-typical Northeast Ohio work site...
Haven't you goof-offs moved that mountain of mud yet? Yeah, sure. As soon as we get equipment bigger than a paint bucket around here.
And now, back to Bob and Tom on 97.5 WONE.
This is the Bob and Tom Show. Good morning.
Good morning.
We are doing a special broadcast this week, the Bob and Tom Vacation Show. Steve Ali on the keyboard this morning. We're in the lounge. We really are in a lounge, actually.
Yeah, we are.
Yep, that's a bar. I recognize it. Good-looking one, too. We're at Boyne Highlands Golf and Ski Resort in Harbor Springs, Michigan. And Chick McGee is sitting in for Christy Lee. Christy at home on vacation, and she's pregnant. And
sleeping in, I hope.
And doing great, yes. I would hope sleeping in.
Mm-hmm.
Gunner sitting in for Chick. So back to Chick
Hello.
at the news desk. Chickster?
Canadian family rushing to the hospital with a lung on the front seat.
With what?
A lung?
A lung.
A lung on the front seat wasn't part of an organ transplant team. It just had a very close encounter with a moose. Family of 4 was traveling in New Hampshire last week when the car struck a moose.
Oh, man.
Police say it was the messiest thing they'd ever seen.
Oh, my God.
The moose landed on the hood, crashed through the windshield, sending moose innards throughout the car.
That trick never works.
Oh, man.
Including a lung on the front seat.
Hey.
Watch me pull a spleen out of my car.
The family, unharmed, drove several miles to a hospital before stopping for help. The husband told police he saw a sign for the hospital and just kept going.
A lung.
A lung.
A moose is a big animal, man.
And finally,
you don't want to
finally.
drive that like in Death Valley afterward, because boy, that would stink. Oh, man. Oh, what's cooking in there?
A priest in Glenshaw, Pennsylvania, took his secretary to Atlantic City, New Jersey, gambled away donations from parishioners, and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in church money on a vacation.
Really?
Homes, cars, guns, antiques over 26 years, police say. The Reverend Walter Benz and Mary Ann Albaugh will be charged with theft and conspiracy within 2 weeks. A lawyer for the two had no comment.
Yeah, they're in their 27th year of their new church fundraiser.
Wow.
It's like,
Dig deep, friends. Dig deep.
Build a new church.
$1,000 more apiece, and we'll be able to add that wing. It would have been okay if he'd been playing bingo. I think that's written in the church bylaws. Isn't it?
Bingo is
believe it
okay.
is.
That's
But,
perfectly legal in
wow.
that's right. The all states. Was this
Come
woman?
on,
Was this
seven.
woman? Was she his girlfriend?
It was his secretary, evidently. He was a priest, though.
Were they doing it?
Well, they don't say they were doing it in the story, but it says he took his secretary to Atlantic City and gambled away donations from parishioners. So maybe he draws the line at celibacy. He still sticks to that, but felonies are okay, evidently. But I remain pure. I didn't
See,
have
there's
sex
the
with her.
law of man.
And then the law of
And
God.
then
Sure.
You know how he lost? He kept betting on 316 on the roulette table.
And there's no...
It's bound to come up.
316, 316. I see. That's fascinating. Thank you very much,
Oh,
Jixter.
you're
welcome. Oh, phone call.
Hold on. Good morning, Bob and Tom Show. Hello?
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 Man. How you doing, guys?
Oh, Mr. President.
Hey, that's me.
Hey, I love the Doors.
Hold on, let me turn it down.
You jamming there?
A little bit.
Hey, Jim Morrison, right on.
Hey, man, I'm feeling pretty good.
Wow, what you doing?
Well, yeah,
Little doobage?
a little bit. Man, I tell you what, I've been listening to all this stuff. This nut who's collecting hair samples of presidents.
Yeah?
I heard you talking about that earlier.
There's a news story. There's a guy who collects unusual samples of famous people, and he's trying to buy Monica Lewinsky's dress, which allegedly has a stain on it, allegedly of
yours.
featuring your DNA, actually.
Yeah, well, anyway, he also got, that dress, and he wants that, and he wants Lincoln's hair, and he wants Andrew Jackson's hair. Next thing, he's going to want some of mine.
Uh-huh.
Oh, he isn't getting it from me. I don't know where he'll get it unless he goes to Monica's dentist. I'll tell you that. Hey, look.
What?
Let's get to the point here. I'm going through some coaching today as to how to answer these grand jury questions.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. I'm looking at some of them now. Hold on here.
Can we help you here?
Well, this is pretty obvious. Right, here's one. Did you have sex with Monica Lewinsky?
Uh-huh.
Let's see. I would say sex. Well, I wouldn't call it sex. Frankly, it was horrible. You talk about sweating a lot, man, I'll tell you.
Oh, really?
Did I have sex? No. Now, she may have had what she thought was sex, but I can tell you this. She didn't inhale.
Apparently not.
That's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
What about the phone messages you left her? Oh. Now, do you think I'm nuts? That wasn't me.
Oh, was it?
Haven't you guys heard what George Bush has been doing ever since I beat him?
No.
Well, he got my voice down, and, here, I got a copy of the tapes from my lawyer.
Oh, okay.
I'll just let you listen
This
to some of the
is George Bush doing an impression of your
Hold on,
voice?
you just listen.
Okay.
Tell me.
All right.
Here we go. Hey, Monica, why don't you come over to the Oval Office today? We'll have.
What can I say to it? Help me.
Oh yeah. We'll have sex in the Oval Office study there. Right off the. Nobody's going to be around or anything. Or.
What do you think? Charlie Moore? That'll fix his ass, huh?
Wow, that's
You tell me.
that's pretty damning, all right.
That's good. If there's one thing I hate, it's when people do impressions of famous people.
Isn't that the truth?
That is
I hope that works.
So awful. So morally
I
bankrupt.
paid Rich Little a lot of money for that. I gotta go.
Okay, thanks, Mr.
Bye.
President. Bye. Wow. Boy, mark that down.
Yeah,
Classic.
you bet. What am I supposed to do? All right.
That was strong.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Very, very nice. Should we?
Yeah, we should.
I think we should.
We'll take a break before we do some
take
sports.
a break and come back with some sports and
Big Mac hit his 47.
couple of your requests. Another homer.
We'll hear from Sammy Sosa also.
All right.
So
good.
the real Sammy Sosa.
All right, very
Okay, good. When we come back, this is the Bob and Tom Show.
You're listening to Bob and Tom on 97.5 WONE.
Hey, Studs. Tired of having your friends set you up with girls with great personalities?
Hey, sugar, pass the gravy, will ya?
And ladies, aren't you sick of the bar scene where you're hit on more than a prize fighter?
Hey, baby, come here often?
Hey, weren't you Miss Iowa?
Call the Rock and Roll Dateline, 1-888-420-ROCK. That's 1-888-420-7625. Now picking up a date is as easy as picking up the phone. 1-888-420-ROCK. It's easy and it's free to enroll. Just call 1-888-420-ROCK. Leave some info about yourself in your own confidential mailbox, and our computer will do the rest. We'll match you up with people who share similar interests. We take the guesswork out of dating. Well, except what to wear. You still have to dress yourself. The Rock and Roll Dateline, 1-888-420-ROCK. You must be 18 years of age or older. What are you waiting for? Call right now, 1-888-420-ROCK from 97.5 WONE.
And now, back to Bob and Tom on 97.5 WONE.
This is the Bob and Tom Show.
Morning!
Special vacation edition. We're broadcasting live from Harbor Springs, Michigan. Gorgeous place. And we are at the Boyne Highlands Golf Resort, Ski Resort this morning. Steve Ali on the keyboards, fresh from his European tour, played the Montreux Jazz Festival, and now has sunk to this level.
Yes.
He's actually sitting in with us. Thank you, Steve. Now, where were we on our little calendar there? We were
time for some sports.
You pointing at me? I'm pointing at you, pal.
Pointing at me.
News from the sporting scene with Gunner.
Big Mac has done it again. Mark McGwire moved back into sole possession of the home run lead, becoming the first National League player to hit 47 before September as the St. Louis Cardinals lost to the New York Mets 8-3 Tuesday night. Now, entering the game, McGwire had not put a ball in play for 13 plate appearances, 7 walks, and 6 strikeouts since hitting number 46 on Saturday. But McGwire doubled in the first inning, then hit a 464-foot drive
that
off
barely
Bobby
made it
Jones
over the fence,
in the fourth. Yeah, just barely.
Yeah.
Almost shattered the bottom of the Chevrolet sign.
That would
I
have
believe,
gone.
at
That would have
Busch.
gone out in center field in the old Yankee Stadium, wasn't it? Like 460 out there.
Yeah.
Wow.
The solo homer to left center ricocheted off a sign, the Chevrolet sign, adjacent to the scoreboard. McGwire had been tied for the major league lead with Sammy Sosa of the Cubs, who connected twice Monday night, but failed to hit one earlier Monday at San Francisco. Drew, I think we have Sammy talking about all the intentional walks these two guys have been drawing.
Yeah.
Whatever they give me, that's what I got to take. I'm not going to be, if they walk me, I'm not going to be like, I don't want to go the first time. I go the first bit like it was basic for me. I mean, I'm trying to help my team to win.
Sammy Sosa of the Chicago Cubs. Mark
See, that's
McGwire's
the worst part with like McGwire and Sosa when they start playing teams that are actually, trying to get into that wild card spot.
Contending.
I'll guarantee they'll walk those guys every time, even if it means walking in a run.
Exactly.
That's how, they'll take the bat right out of their hands.
Here's the figures since McGwire came to the Cardinals on July 31st of 1997. This latest homer, last night's homer, came in his 162nd game as a Cardinal. In that time, he has 71 homers, 146 RBIs, and 165 walks.
So that's a regular season, 162 games, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's 71 homers. So
that's incredible.
He's having the best National League home run season of anyone so far. Hack Wilson entered September with 46 homers in 1930. McGwire now has 47. Hack Wilson finished with 56 homers and a record 190 RBIs. Roger Maris hit 51 homers before September in his record 61 homer season in 1961. McGwire is one ahead of Maris's pace. He has 47. Maris had 46 after 118 games. Through 117 games, Maris had 45. Ken Griffey Jr. only has 41. He's 4 off the pace. And Sammy Sosa, 2 off the pace. Through 120 games, Maris had 48. Sosa has 40 of them. Some additional baseball news. First, a smashed nose, then a stolen baseball. Poor old Matthew Spicer. Spicer, who's 10 years old, was watching batting practice before Sunday's Tampa Bay Devil Rays game when a batted ball struck him in the nose, knocking him unconscious.
Oh.
His cousin and aunt placed the ball beside him as they cared for the fallen youngster, but an unknown fan snatched the ball while Spicer was lying helpless.
What a lowlife.
I just couldn't believe somebody would take the ball after all that, said Bob Hartman, Spicer's uncle. Said Matthew's father, Jim Spicer, instead of people trying to help him, they were going crazy trying to get the ball. I can't believe people are like that. Well, and we can here at the show.
Yes.
Matthew, a Little League second baseman, needed surgery to straighten his nose.
Wow.
Devil Rays officials have invited him to a future game
behind the backstop.
He will get to meet some of the players.
Go Devil Rays. Go Devil Rays. Go.
Hey, I love baseball.
My favorite.
I love baseball. You
How
love
many
baseball?
how many homers did you say Sosa has?
46.
Sosa has 46.
Okay, I think you said 40 by mistake.
Did I?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. While fans' hearts will flutter if their teams make the World Series, their wallets may hurt. Baseball is doubling the price of most tickets to its top event, charging $150 a game for its best box seats and $100 a night for its top reserve tickets.
Say it ain't true, Roy.
The cheapest seat in the house, bleachers or general admission, will cost $40, and standing room tickets are $25 each. Now, in comparison, that seems to be a bargain. Super Bowl tickets cost $350 in luxury suites and $275 the last 2 years. Ticket prices for January's game in Miami have not been set. NFL spokesman Greg Aiello gave that information out on Tuesday. In the NBA and the NHL, teams set their own postseason ticket prices. NBA Finals tickets in Chicago cost $90 to $30 for most seats this year. That comes with a hanky for when your nose starts to bleed. And the Bulls said with about 100 floor seats out of that scenario going for $475 a ticket. Of course, if you're scalping those at the NBA Finals, much more.
Oh, sorry.
Those
Sorry. Ouch.
Tasty.
Mm-hmm. That's got your child's college education written all over it when you were looking for a finals ticket courtside in Chicago this past season. Most tickets were $113 to $19 in Utah, with VIP seats in Utah for the first 5 rows at $300 to $180. For the Stanley Cup Finals, Washington had a top price of $250 and Detroit a top of $200.
What are they in the WNBA? $3?
You pick them up at your local Kroger. When you buy a loaf of bread, you get your free tickets to the WNBA Finals. News from around the NFL. Green Bay coach Mike Holmgren says receiver Robert Brooks, who's a fine fantasy football candidate at the wide receiver position, I might add, he may be ready for the September 6th season opener. Brooks recently underwent back surgery, put an asterisk next to him, fantasy football players, and the Bears have signed free agent wide receiver Randall Hill. He led the New Orleans Saints with 55 catches last year. And John Elway has become the lowest paid starting quarterback in the NFL. He's agreed to let Denver restructure his contract, cutting his 1998 salary from about $4 million to a meager $300,000 a year.
But he'll be getting the money another time.
Yes, I'm sure.
Or another way.
Of course.
Hardly seems like going to work, does it? It's not worth it.
It's not. Where does he find the motivation, is what I ask.
Well, probably just look in the savings account. That's all you got to do.
I have to work 10 years to make $300,000.
He's just sold his car dealerships for, what was it, $70-80 million bucks?
Yeah. He sold them for, I believe, $82 million to Wayne Huizinga.
Smart guy. Doing great.
An entrepreneur who founded an energy company 12 years ago is planning a new pro basketball league.
Really?
With hopes of eventually going global, the International Basketball League, IBL, plans to start play in November of next year with teams in Albuquerque, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Jacksonville, Las Vegas, Richmond, San Diego, and Tampa.
Where's the international part?
Juarez. Well, have you ever been in Cincinnati during Oktoberfest?
All right, I stand corrected.
Thank you.
Players will be employed by the league instead of the teams in a structure similar to that of Major League Soccer.
Which is going great guns.
That was a brilliant brainstorm by someone.
I bet those tickets for their finals were going for $4 or $5.
Oh, yeah.
Evander Holyfield's next fight is set. Here you go, kids. The heavyweight champion will face Mr. Bean. Vaughn Bean. Vaughn Bean. The IBF's number 1 contender, Vaughn Bean. The fight will be September 19th in Atlanta's Georgia Dome.
Man, that's perfect.
Don't hurt me. New Jersey State Athletic Control Board is expected to make a decision Friday on whether to award a boxing license to Mike Tyson. The board scheduled a public meeting for Friday morning. Hey, here's the spokeswoman for the State Department of Law and Public Safety. Her name is Maureen Zapansky. She says a decision is expected during this meeting, and indeed Tyson will attend. He will be there, according to his lawyer, Tony Fusco Jr. Tyson, who is 32, hasn't fought since June 1997 when bit the ears of WA heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield during a bout in Las Vegas. Nevada regulators, of course, revoked his boxing license and said he could reapply after 1 year. Some additional baseball news. Former Baltimore Orioles manager Earl Weaver has left the hospital after he suffered a mild heart attack 9 days ago. Actually, he didn't leave the hospital. He was thrown out.
That's right.
That's for sure.
By his doctor.
Insufferable bastard.
He's feisty. He's a feisty young man. Scores from around the league. San Francisco got a pair of 2-run homers from Jeff Kent, and Barry Bonds drove in 3 runs. Giants broke a 5-game slide with an 8-7 win over the Cubs. The teams with the best 2 records in the National League opened a 3-game series. San Diego beat Atlanta 3-1. Houston's lead in the NL Central grew to 8.5 games as the Astros won in their last at-bat for the 20th time this year. The score 6-5 past Milwaukee. Colorado ripped Montreal 15-6. A pair of Tony Batista homers accounted for 3 of Arizona's runs during the Diamondbacks 7-3 win over Philly. The Marlins defeat the Dodgers 8-6, and Pirates shut out Cincinnati 7-0. The Yankees won again, and so did David Wells. New York shut out Minnesota 7-0 as Wells fired a 4-hitter. Wells threw a perfect game when he faced the Twins in May, and he becomes the second pitcher this century to shut out a team in his first start against them after a perfect game. Jim Bunning did that in 1964. I believe we have David Wells, and this is what he had to say about the game. He didn't have much to say about the game.
He was really...
well, I really thought I did well the way I pitched, but I was really waiting on the after-game snack.
Me and Jim Bunning, had no idea.
I go out there and, I'm very aggressive out there on the mound, I think. I throw strikes, get ahead in the count, and, and try to get them to hit my pitch. And basically that's the approach that I take, and it was something that whatever happens out there happens. And for me, stats don't mean really dilly squat to me.
No, diddly squat. That's an underused
diddly
word.
squat is my trip to the salad bar after the game.
The Tampa Bay Devil Rays slid past Baltimore 2-1. 2 Nomar Garciaparra home runs helped Boston beat KC 7-4 in 10 innings. The Rangers nipped Cleveland 2-1. Anaheim clipped Detroit 5-4 and 11. A 6-run seventh inning rallied the Toronto Blue Jays past the Seattle Mariners 7-4. Oakland topped the White Sox 6-4. That's a look at sports this hour on the Bob and Tom Show. Chick.
Thank you, Gunner. A Cambodian monk expelled after he was caught sneaking out of his temple at night to indulge in his secret passion.
Masturbating.
Karaoke singing.
Really?
By day, Kung Bokuen, 22, wore the simple orange robes of a Buddhist monk, but at night, he would don ordinary garb and slip out of his Phnom Penh temple to croon in nearby karaoke bars. He also occasionally went dancing.
Really?
How nice.
That's against the rules. Yep.
Well, I would imagine. Don't you have to kind of just sit in your room and do nothing all day?
They got that vow of silence thing going.
Yeah, sure they do.
Yeah, they pray, they pray a lot.
It would have been okay if he'd only been doing it to instrumentals.
Well, I guess.
And now Love is Blue.
Yeah.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Wow.
Well, don't the monks actually have an album out?
Yeah, they do have an album.
They did, yeah.
And this must be a different, I think those are Tibetan. What'd you say this guy was from? Cambodia.
Oh, big difference.
Oh, they don't get along.
No.
Totally different.
Totally different kind of monk.
Sure it is.
Great gig, though. Get an orange robe, get to sit around an empty room all day,
Thinking.
Thinking about what a stupid color these robes are.
What am I doing locked up here when I could be out in the bars?
Yeah, who picked orange?
Scoring and
Is that so they wouldn't be shot during deer season?
Yes.
I'm wondering.
Right now, I understand we have comedian Robert Schimmel joining us on the telephone. Robert?
How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Robert.
Hi.
Hey.
Where are you?
I'm in Phoenix.
Uh-huh.
You can just
Getting ready to leave town.
Just waking up, are you?
What? Yeah, I've been up for a little while.
Yeah. How's your life?
All right, I had a root canal yesterday. Every time I talk to you guys.
Well, you're falling apart.
Oh,
yeah, every time you talk to us, you've got some new little addition to your life.
Yeah, this was... I broke a tooth on stage in Buffalo, New York.
How'd you do that?
On Friday. I don't know. I was talking, and all of a sudden, my teeth, I clenched my teeth or something, and
it broke.
Oh man, I started screaming on stage.
Did they think it was part of the act?
Well, yeah, people started laughing, but then when I got off stage after the first show, there's a dentist there, and he said he's really in pain, and I said, yeah, and he took me to his office, which was like a block away from where the place was I was performing.
Uh-huh.
Took an x-ray, and he said, oh, yeah. He said, your nerve is exposed, and...
oh, boy.
And I said, okay, as long as yours isn't, because I don't know this guy, and he's taking me to his office.
So you actually had to get on stage and go, is there a dentist in the house?
Yeah, no, he actually did it, and then he said, he put me on penicillin, and he said, listen, let me give you some pain medication. He said, until you get back home. He said, how many do you think you need? And I said, well, let me see. There's 3 of us, so that's...
Yes. Yeah, baby.
Well, now, of course, for
I
you...
I want to leave out my opening act.
So now you're taking a lot of other medication for all your stomach problems and stuff. You got to be careful.
Yeah, I had to tell him. Yeah, it's real... He wanted to give me, whatchamacallit.
Vicodin?
Do you want anything? He said, because I want to give you... He said, I think I'll give you Percodan. And I said, well, on this and this. And he goes, nah, that really wouldn't mix good. I said, well, I can stop taking the other stuff.
Yeah. For the perks, you bet.
But, no, I just saw... when I woke up this morning, I saw Tyson on the news, but I missed it, and I didn't know what happened. Did they come up with a decision or not?
No, on Friday. And Tyson's, I guess, going to appear again.
I thought that was great. Having Bobby Chez as a character witness at the hearing saying, hey, if that was me and I hit somebody and their eyes fell out, I would try and pick them up and eat them before the guy could put them back in his head. That's the kind of person you want on your side.
You betcha. But his ear didn't fall off, you said.
Yeah.
Did you hear Tyson's remark where he started swearing?
Yeah.
Started cursing during the actual interview?
Yeah.
We'd like you to read your closing statement. I don't want to. I'm angry at you now. All right.
Okay.
He says he's angry. Let's take his word for it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Is he out of his mind?
Of course he is.
Now you're an old Mike Tyson fan. I remember we had a conversation about this once, and you said what was it? He was getting several million for something. You said you'd do that.
Yeah, that's right. They asked Holyfield if he was going to fight him for $50 million, and Holyfield said he had to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, for $50 million, I'd have oral sex with Tyson in front of my parents at the Thanksgiving dinner table. Think about it. Who are they kidding?
Talk about stuffing.
Wow.
Think about it. Obviously, Vanessa Williams recovered okay from that kind of thing.
Yeah, she did.
I still have that magazine.
Yeah, I do too. The old Vanessa Williams duck call.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's famous. We're speaking with comedian Robert Schimmel, and
You guys are at a golf resort?
yeah,
That must be fun.
Oh,
beautiful.
it's great.
We're up in northern Michigan in Harbor Springs. It's a beautiful day here.
Wow. Yeah, I went to play here about a week ago at the TPC at the Princess Hotel in Scottsdale.
Mm-hmm.
And there are these signs all over in the bushes where you go off, into the rough, and it says danger rattlesnake habitat. And you know what?
Wow.
They're not kidding.
No, they're not lying.
And because I went to go get a ball, and all of a sudden, and there it was.
Really?
Yeah.
And so, did you play it where it lied?
No.
Yeah, there's an unknown rule in golf that if there's a rattlesnake or an alligator or something, I think they actually allow you to drop someplace
Yeah,
else.
drop it, away from the strike zone.
Wow,
I know, and the guy at the clubhouse said, "No, don't worry about the snakes. They only bite if you do something that bothers them." Well, how do I know what bothers a rattlesnake?
Yeah.
Obviously, walking anywhere around there bothers them because they start making a lot of noise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, they're scary looking.
Now, were you wearing the soft spikes or the regular ones?
No, I was wearing the regular ones.
See, with the regular spikes, you can skewer them.
We'd like you to wear soft spikes.
Were you wearing brown pants?
Brown plaid.
Brown plaid pants. Yeah.
It's hot though. It was 114.
Oh my. Well, no wonder they're out.
Yeah. But it's cheap to play though because a course usually costs like $150.
But ever
and
since
it was $13.
But ever since the rattlesnake problem.
They go, listen, the drink cart girl hasn't been back in 3.5 hours. So, do you mind taking the snake bite kit with you? Just in case you see her.
Wow. That's scary. How'd you shoot?
What?
Well,
it's okay because I think we only lasted about 6 holes. I went and took my daughter, said, Dad, let's go spend some time together. And I said, okay. And then she brings her boyfriend, so I guess that's spending time together.
I see.
And I always thought I was going to pass out, but there was no way I was going down before this kid quit.
I'll show you. So,
he was begging to go home. He said, Mr. Schimmel, I can't take anymore. He said, I'm nauseous and I'm dizzy and I have a really bad headache.
Good, let me show you where my ball is.
Yeah. Sure, we can go right after, I think there's a shortcut right through those bushes.
Now, how old is your daughter?
She just turned 20. She's going back to college on Sunday.
20, so she's really out there dating.
Yeah, no, it's the same guy since 10th grade.
Really?
That's the scary part, yeah.
And you've hated him all the way through, huh?
No, I don't hate him. It's just that, he says things like out of the blue, like, that just bothers me. Like, we were having dinner one night a couple weeks ago, and he said, Jess and I are both pro-choice, and I had to run outside so that because I didn't want to curse in front of my 7-year-old. Pro-choice. Well, here's my choice. Don't eat here anymore. Pro-choice.
Okay.
And then she said she's a really good girl. I mean, she really is. She's actually working this week at an AIDS camp for kids. She volunteered to do this. She won't be back until Sunday. She's gone for 10 days. And she actually has, I think, the only girl in the United States that has hemophilia, because women usually don't get it. And she wants to be a doctor, and that's what she's doing. So I got so excited, and I said, wow, she's actually going to, leave the guy for a week and go do this. And then I talked to her yesterday, and I said, how's camp? And she said, okay. She said, I have 12-year-olds, and Steve has, 7. Steve's there? There we go.
All right.
Wow. And then my wife goes, come on, can't you remember when you were that age? And I said, yes, that's why I'm freaking out.
Exactly.
I wish if I didn't remember, everything would be okay. I used to lie to my girlfriend's parents, just like this kid's probably doing. Pro-choice.
I'll choose the upper bunk.
I'm not kidding. She called me, because she thinks that because of my act that she can ask me about anything and that I'm going to be cool about it, instead of my wife. I mean, and I can't, I get chest pains very easy now when she's at, she calls me on the road. Dad, can I talk to you about something? I said, nah, what? She said, well, I know Mom will, really freak. And I said, well, let me find my nitro pills first.
What is
She's going to tell me Steve went in the back door, and I'm going to drop dead right on the phone.
You can't get the pill to my mouth.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Steve wanted to play Oz last night. Have you seen that show on HBO?
Yes.
Oh, my God. I told my wife, my wife says, what's this? And I said, I don't know, it's supposed to be really good, this prison thing. And then as soon as I turn it on, it's this guy biting this other guy's penis off and spitting it out. Well, I guess it wouldn't have made any difference whether he spit it out or not. But anyway, at that point, it really doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
Like you're going to go, ugh.
Yeah.
I got blood in my mouth. So, and she goes, this is the kind of show you watch when you're on the road, huh, Bob?